Okay, so this past weekend was a lot. A political firestorm just completely erupted when some key files in the Jeffrey Epstein case, including a really high-profile photo of President Trump, just vanished from a government website. What happened next was a total whirlwind of accusations and denials, and it all reveals this deep, fascinating irony at the very heart of the MAGA movement. So let's get into it and break down what actually happened.
Right, so this is the big question, isn't it? How in the world do critical files on a case this huge, involving the President of the United States, just disappear from a government site? Let's walk through the exact sequence of events.
So, this all kicked off with a legally required release of documents. But what was supposed to be a step towards transparency, well, it very quickly turned into something else entirely. Something that sparked a whole lot of suspicion.
And look, the speed here is what really got people talking. On Friday, the Department of Justice puts out this massive dump of documents. By Saturday, boom, key files are gone. Just gone. No note, no explanation. The internet, as you can imagine, just explodes. And then by Sunday, after this huge public backlash, the files are quietly put back up.
And we're not just talking about one or two random files here. We're talking at least 13 files that disappeared. Now, that might not sound like a huge number, but it's what was in those files that caused such an uproar, and specifically one very, very prominent piece of evidence.
And this was the bombshell at the center of it all. This photo, it shows President Trump and Melania Trump with Jeffrey Epstein and his convicted accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell. I mean, in the context of this whole case, you literally could not have picked a more controversial image to have suddenly go missing.
So, obviously, with people screaming cover up from every corner, the Department of Justice had to say something. So what was their official story?
Well, their denial, which came from Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, was pretty direct. He said the whole idea that they removed the photo to protect the president was ridiculous. He pointed out, that there are plenty of other photos of Trump and Epstein out there already. His argument was basically, why would we go to the trouble of hiding this one photo?
So according to the DOJ, this wasn't about politics at all. It was just procedure. Their New York office apparently flagged the files, being extra cautious about victim privacy. So they were pulled down, they were reviewed, and once they confirmed no victim was in the photo, they put them right back up. A simple, by-the-book explanation.
Yeah, but you know how it is in today's political world. A simple procedural explanation, it just didn't fly. For a lot of people, the timing of it all and what exactly got removed, well, it screamed cover-up.
So you've got these two totally different stories. On one hand, the government says, hey, we're just being careful, protecting victims. But on the other hand, you have a huge chunk of the public, including some politicians, just screaming this is a blatant cover-up. Two completely opposite narratives born from the exact same event.
And you gotta understand, this wasn't your typical left versus right shouting match. No way. I mean, sure, House Democrats were asking questions, but so was a well-known conservative YouTuber, who actually demanded the Attorney General be arrested over this. The criticism was truly coming from all over the place, even from inside the president's own party. And then came maybe the biggest move of all. Thomas Massie, he's the Republican congressman who actually championed the law that forced these files to be released in the first place. He announced he was going to sue the Attorney General. He felt like the administration was breaking the very law he worked to create.
Okay, and this is where the story gets really, really interesting. It's kind of ironic, actually. To really get the fallout from all this, you have to understand the very unique political movement that put President Trump in office to begin with.
See, Trump's base isn't your standard Republican Party. At its core, it's a movement built on a massive distrust of institutions, of the government, of the media, of the entire system. It's this core belief that powerful people are always hiding something from you.
And here's the twist. That same deep-seated skepticism he used so well against everyone else, well, now it's being pointed right back at his own administration by some of his own supporters.
I mean, just think about that for a second. The exact same kind of online energy and conspiratorial thinking that helped carry him to the White House is now being used to call his own DOJ's actions the biggest cover-up in history. The very political forces he unleashed have now turned back on him.
So you might think, okay, this is just a bunch of internet drama. But it's not. The White House saw a real political threat here, one that could actually put a dent in a key part of their voter base.
In fact, the White House Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles, pointed out the specific group they're worried about. It's these younger men who might not follow politics day to day, but who are super engaged with the Epstein case and all the theories swirling around it. These are the newer, maybe less loyal voters who are drawn into the movement.
So the potential damage here is pretty clear. You risk pushing away these new supporters who don't have that deep-rooted party loyalty. This could start to weaken the whole MAGA movement from the inside out,
creating these little cracks as people start to doubt the leadership. And to make it all even more confusing, after the files were put back up, a lot of the online influencers who built their whole brand on this stuff, they suddenly went quiet, which just fueled even more suspicion and division.
And all of this really leaves us with one big, lingering question. In this age we live in, an era of such deep distrust in official institutions, can any explanation from the government, no matter how logical it seems, ever really be enough